38 minutes. That's an interesting fact. I wonder how that played out. Okay, so after 30 minutes, they decided ceasefire.
They had drinks.
Anyway,
They had drinks.
They had drinks. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, welcome back. It is still the big conversation, and we're having such a great time navigating the work-life balance and looking at what balance really means to each person. And I think that's the thing. Balance really means something different to really everyone. And I think that's something I wanted to say, because we have a agree or disagree question, and then I'll say this. All right, so our agree or disagree question is, and I want you all to get in the comment section as well. If you're watching, let us know if you agree or disagree. Okay. You can only achieve true balance if you work for yourself. Agree or disagree. You can only achieve true balance if you work for yourself in this direction. And big, bold. You can only achieve true balance if you work for yourself. Do you agree or do you disagree? You can only achieve true balance. True balance if you work for yourself. Do you agree, disagree, or do you agree?
It's like I would agree.
Okay, all right. So, but imagine I'm here and I'm okay. You can only achieve true balance if you work for yourself. Okay. There we go. Okay, Biba. Okay, let's see. What do you have to say? If you work for yourself, you can only achieve true balance.
I'll say disagree. I wanted to say agree, actually.
Okay.
So I'll disagree, because working for yourself does not entirely mean that you would have time for yourself, right? You could also be working for someone. I've never done a 9 to 5 but I think that's why I find it really fascinating.
Yes.
Because I've not experienced it before. All my life, it's been
entrepreneurship
up since 2012.
Yes.
I've been in business. So working for someone, at least you wake up in the morning, you go a certain time, and then you close a certain time. When you're back home, you have your me time. You have your time, the time for yourself. But when you're working for your own self, it's quite difficult, because you're hands on everything from start to finish, morning to evening. You are there, making sure everything is properly aligned, making sure everything is pronto. And for someone like me in my industry, I'm a perfectionist. I need everything to be all put together. So I disagree, and that's my vote.
All right, Kalfa.
Okay.
Okay, do you agree or disagree? You can only
disagree.
Oh, okay. Why do you disagree?
Okay, because there are different places of work. The answer is not so binary. I just had to pick disagree.
Yes.
So if you work for yourself, you're probably thinking of, okay, I have a certain level of freedom, as opposed to when I'm working under somebody.
Right.
So in this instance, I work in the government establishment, so to say. So I know for a fact that when it is 4 p.m., with my time, I'm leaving. But if I still want to stay behind and do other things, I can still do other things. As opposed to if you're in a private establishment, is it the same thing? Can you have that amount of flexibility of work to say, okay, by 4, I am going. And for me, that is where our labor laws really have to come in. How effective are they? How do you hold private establishment employers accountable for, okay, work hours. When you are done, let people go home and all of that. But,
Okay, this is my answer. I also disagree. And you know why I disagree? Yes, we both disagree. This is the first, can we put it up? It's the first time we're all going to agree. And you know why I disagree? Because I actually, and I think this is where the debate comes in. I think there's a more likely chance that you have more balance when you work for other people.
Yes.
Oh, really? Agree. Because when you work for yourself, you can't switch off. Yes, I've most times worked for other people in a 9 to 5. Not really a 9 to 5. Mine has been in a 6 to forever, because I'm a creative. I worked in broadcasting industry for a long time. Yes, I've worked in 9 to 5 before, a long time ago though. However, I've worked for myself as well, and I know it's harder to switch off when it's your own stuff. When it's somebody else's stuff, I'm your business. It's your business. Absolutely. So I feel like there's a higher chance of having balance when you work for somebody else. Number one, if they are treating you in a way that maybe they are making you work 24 hours, there are people you can report to.
Definitely.
If it's not your own. Yes, you can hold them accountable. There are people you can go on Instablog now and say, oh, my boss is toxic. People do that now. Even when it's not even that toxic. I see people going to report and I'm like, Gen Zs, people just don't like
anything for their mental health.
I think mental health is actually a blessing.
Yes.
This generation
because they speak up.
Because
as opposed to us, we just take it.
Exactly. They are very vocal as regards everything. So this there's this staff of mine. I had to let her go at some point.
Wow.
Yeah. she's very vocal, and that's one thing I really loved about her.
Okay.
I love when people are very expressive around me.
Yes.
Because in that manner, I can always tap some creative, here and there. So there's one thing she does. Once it's 6 o'clock, nothing you want the testimony.
6:01.
They go out there. Testimony will say, "Ma, I'm already going home."
Wow.
And you're like, hey, so you know what I said? Testimony be like say we cannot do this thing together. So what I do basically is that when you work over time, I give you incentive.
Okay.
I know you cannot compensate entirely for that time, right? But I give you incentive.
It's a small business, and all hands must be on deck.
All hands must be on deck. So once I say testimony, be like say,
our
journey is nothing.
And have you had that experience with people?
Okay, working with people.
Yes.
Well, my own is a little bit different. Like we said, our balance is quite different because of the industry that we're in. But have I had to let go of interns? Absolutely, yes. Because this person wasn't even Gen Z. I promise you. This person is even like much elderly than I am and all of that. But our views were just different. Our approach, I mean, we couldn't even do 2 weeks with each other. And she was just like, oh, she didn't even tell me like she was leaving.
Is 3 weeks with me.
She didn't even tell me that she was leaving. All I just knew was that I came out from the event and my drummer was like, oh, so person said she's no longer coming.
Wow.
It felt like a body left my. You know what? We've not even done 2 weeks with each other, and it's looking as if we don't gel, we don't compatible. We're not compatible. So back to that question, like the reason why I disagreed is because let's not see if there are some people that are not working for themselves and the money they have is more than the people that are working for themselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's some people that work in some organizations. I hear benefits that some people get, like 9 to 5 people. I hear their benefits, I hear their allowance, I hear their incentives, and I'm like, this same corporate lifestyle
that we are doing
together. Are you sure? I even hear that for their car that they have maintenance money.
Sometimes they pay their children's school fees. They're part of I
read stories like our kids.
I know those kind of companies.
To be honest,
they will use that money out of your
life. Yes, they would use it, but then at least they still find a balance in one way or the other. Way they do.
And I think that's it. You have to find. That's why we say, and I think social media doesn't help now. People are, this person's hustling, this person has like 5 million jobs, person has 5, and we're trying to catch up with those people.
Go at your pace, go at your pace, please. Go at your pace. Go at your pace.
You know, it's so important. All right, so let's look at our wise words on the web, and it says, remember, being happy doesn't mean you have it all.
Absolutely.
It simply means you are thankful for all you have. And this is an unknown, quote. Remember, being happy doesn't mean you have it all. It simply means you are thankful for all you have. And I think that's that balance, that being thankful, that gratitude is balance in itself sometimes.
Yes,
it's just like, okay, I'm where I am. I'm not where I need to be. You know, however, I'm alive and I'm good. And for some people,
the thing is, you need to curate your happiness, actually.
Curate your happiness. I absolutely love that.
Well, I think you need to be contented, Sha.
Yes, and be content.
If you are contented, you will be happy.
Yes,
and I think like sometimes if you're able to like look back, was this where I was 5 years ago?
Like, you'll find a shift has happened,
and you're like, I've evolved every much. Maybe not where I want to be. If you're able to like compare your growth, like I told somebody, I said, I remember telling somebody some 5 years ago, I'm like, give me 5 years. You see that 5 years I was telling that person to give me, I did not have an idea what 5 years would look like. But now when I sit in that, I'm sitting in that 5 years, and I'm like, baby girl,
pat yourself on the back.
Because that 5 years ago, I really could not. I didn't have a plan, like, but I knew that my future is bright. That was what I told myself. So if I'm able to look at it now, like, okay, 5 years later, you're doing amazing.
Exactly.
And there is still space. There is still
to do more.
Exactly. I think, to be honest, that's the balance.
Absolutely. Well done, ladies. I think you're all doing phenomenal in your own different ways. You know, we just have to remind ourselves to rest.
Absolutely.
Please, lady out there, gentleman, please rest. You don't want life to force you to rest, because then it's going to be out of your control. Anyway, as we wrap up, remember, balance isn't always about equal time. It's about intentional time. Whether you're building a career, nurturing your family, or simply trying to breathe, don't lose sight of what matters most to you. Make room for rest, for joy, and for things that make your life feel full. And if you're in a season where balance feels impossible, give yourself grace. You're human, not a machine. That's it for today on The Big Conversation. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget the conversation continues online. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafua, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's so good having you. Well done.
Thank
and all
you.
your achievements and all that you're doing.
Thank you so
Well done. Thank you.
much.
Catch you guys next time.
Bye.